everybody, I'm Jennifer, and this is a short flow for beginners to yoga. So we are going to get started in an easy seated position. That's with your feet kind of crisscross applesauce in front of you, wherever feels comfortable in your joints. Let your eyes fall soft or closed and send the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Sit up tall. Bring your shoulder blades down and back. And begin to take notice of your breath and slow it down. Take 3 long and drawn out inhales and exhales. You can blink your eyes open. And on your next inhale, send your arms up to the ceiling, reach up tall. Exhale, bring your right hand down to the mat, reach over to the right, find a stretch in your left side body. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, over to the left. Reach your right arm up and over, find a stretch in your right side body this time. Inhale, reach back up. And on this exhale, open arm twist to the right, bringing your left hand to your knee and your right hand behind you. And then if it's comfortable in your spine, press your hand into your knee to deepen the twist. Another option is to look over your back shoulder. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, this time open arm twist to the left, bringing your right hand to your knee, your left hand behind you. Press into your knee if it's comfortable, and again you have the option to look over your back shoulder. Inhale, back up one last time. And then on your exhale, come forward onto your hands and knees. So here, this is called tabletop pose in yoga. A few things: bring your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Point your index finger directly forward and then fan out the rest of your fingers to either side as far apart as possible. When you put weight in your hands, press down well into the base of your pointer finger, base of your thumb. This will take weight off the outsides of your hands and promote wrist health in your practice. From here in tabletop, we'll move on to cat and cows. So on your inhale, drop your belly down to the mat, look up to the ceiling, cow pose. On your exhale, round through your spine, tuck your chin to your chest, cat pose. Inhale, belly drops, bring your shoulder blades down and back on your back, look up, cow pose. Exhale, hug your belly in, press the mat away, feel your shoulder blades separate, cat pose. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Take 2 more rounds of this at your own breath pace. And then after your last cat, you can return to a neutral spine. Look just forward of your mat, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back into downward facing dog. So here you're keeping that action of your hands working, finding good contact with your hands in the mat. Begin to send your heels down to the mat. They may not reach, and that's okay. Send your hands forward so that your ears come even with your biceps, or maybe even a little bit more. And hug your belly in. This is downward facing dog pose. On your next inhale, look up to the top of your mat. And on your exhale, start to walk your feet forward, keeping a generous bend in your knees. We're coming into ragdoll at the top of your mat. So for ragdoll, you'll let gravity send your upper body down. You can grab onto opposite elbows and maybe sway from side to side. Maybe nod your head yes and shake it no. Release any tension you're holding in your upper body. And then on your next inhale, slowly begin to rise, releasing your arms, stacking one backbone on top of the other. until you finish your breath at the top of your mat in mountain pose. For this pose, your heels will be directly underneath your hips. Spread your toes wide, press them down into the mat. Find good contact with the soles of your feet and the floor or the mat. And then send energy up your legs, hug your kneecaps into your thighs, engage your quadriceps. Engage your midsection, hug your belly button into your spine and then up to your diaphragm. Send your tailbone down to the mat. Bringing energy into your chest, draw your shoulder blades down and back, point your palms forward. And then finally send energy out the crown of your head, grow tall, and bring your chin parallel to the floor. This is Tadasana. Mountain pose. So from here in mountain pose, we'll do 2 sun salutation A's. On your inhale, send your arms up to the ceiling, upward salute pose. Exhale, hinge at your hips to fold forward. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, bring your fingertips to the mat or hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat, step your feet back into plank pose, just long enough to move through it and lower down. Chest and belly land at the same time, untuck your toes. Draw your fingers back to your low ribs, look forward, and then inhale, press into the mat, bring your shoulder blades down and back, cobra pose. Exhale your hips up and back, downward facing dog, 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale, empty your lungs of air and travel your feet forward. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, crown of your head points down. Inhale, sweep your arms up, bring your palms together up above you, upward salute. Exhale your hands to heart center. 1 more of those. Inhale, send your arms up. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat, step back and lower down, maybe using your knees if you need to. Bring your fingertips back, inhale, look forward. Maybe look up for cobra pose. Exhale your hips up and back, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. On your last inhale, look forward. Exhale, empty your lungs of air and travel your feet forward. Inhale, look forward and lengthen through your spine, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up, gaze up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, send your arms back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, fingertips to the mat or hands to shins for 1 more halfway lift. And then exhale, plant your hands on the mat, step back into downward facing dog. Here in downward dog, lift 1 leg into the air, your right leg. And then on your exhale, bring it forward, place it between your hands, and dial down on your back foot so that your front heel is parallel with the arch of your back foot. You can cartwheel your hands up into Warrior 2 pose. So here for Warrior 2, you're going to bend so that your front knee is over your front ankle. Reach both arms out into opposite directions, strongly engaging them. Relax your shoulders. On your next inhale, straighten your front knee. Exhale, reach forward and down, either to your shin, your ankle, or maybe a block beside you. Your left arm is going to reach up to the ceiling and you can gaze up at those fingertips. Triangle pose. You're working to be on one plane here. If there was a wall behind you, you'd be pressing your entire backside against that wall. On your next exhale, bend into your front knee, place your forearm on your thigh, and then sweep your arm through center and forward, opening up your ribs to the ceiling, side angle pose. Reach 1 long line from your fingertips all the way down to the knife's edge of your left foot. And then maybe gaze up at the ceiling on the inside of your left tricep. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, plant your hands on either side of your feet. Step your foot back and we'll meet in downward dog. Inhale your left leg into the air. Exhale, step it through between your hands, dialing that back foot down for warrior two on the second side. Again, your front heel is in line with the arch of your back foot. Arms are up parallel to the floor. Bend your front knee over your front pinky toe and then over your front ankle and then open it up towards your pinky toe. Send energy out both sets of fingertips, but relax your shoulders. Inhale, straighten your front knee. Exhale, reach as far forward as possible and then tip down into triangle pose. Reaching your right arm up to the ceiling. Hugging your belly in and working to be on that one plane that we talked about earlier. On your next exhale, bend into your knee, forearm comes to thigh. Right arm sweeps through center and reaches forward, opening up your right ribs up to the ceiling. Gazing up on the inside of your right tricep, making sure that your pinky is pointed down. Take one last inhale. And then exhale, plant your hands on the mat, step back, and I'll meet you in downward dog. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale and travel your feet forward. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. And then exhale your hands to heart center and step back with your left foot. So here your feet are more on train tracks rather than a tightrope. Front toes are pointing directly forward. Back toes are pointing to the top left corner of your mat for warrior one. Front knee is going to bend over front ankle. Make sure both hip points are pointing directly forward. A lot of times it's a tendency for them to open up to the left and we don't want that to happen. In regular warrior one, your hands are reaching up, but for this one we're going to have our hands at heart center because we're going to transition into warrior three by looking just forward of our mat, shifting your weight solely into your right leg, and then lifting your back foot up so that it comes even with your head, making this T shape with your body. Send energy out the crown of your head and press hard into your heel, and then send your shoulder blades up to the mat, up to the ceiling. On your next inhale, slowly rise up, placing your left foot beside your right, and then step your right foot back into warrior one. All the same things here, front toes are facing forward, back toes are facing the top right corner of your mat, front knee is bent over front ankle, and both hip points are pointing directly forward. Our hands are at heart center. When you're ready to transition into warrior three, look forward, bring your weight into your left leg, and then bring your right foot up into the air, pressing hard into your heel, growing tall in your spine, and sending your shoulder blades up to the ceiling. Inhale, slowly come to rise up, back into mountain pose, Tadasana. Toes spread wide, heels underneath your hips. Keeping your hands at heart center, we'll transition into tree pose. So begin to shift your weight over to the right, bringing your left heel up to your right ankle, or maybe up into your calf. We're working not in our knee here, but on the meaty part of our legs. And grow tall in this tree pose. Send your lifted knee back to whatever's behind you. And again, relax your shoulders, bring some space across your chest. Take one last inhale in tree. And then exhale, bring your foot back down to the mat. Find a good base with your left foot in the mat, and then bring your right ankle up to your version of tree pose with your hands at heart center, either to your left ankle or your left calf. Stand up tall, press your lifted knee backwards. 2 more breaths here. And then exhale to release. Shake out your legs if you need them, and find a seat on the mat. Here, this is called seated forward fold. So for this one, you'll draw your toes back to your knees, strongly engage your legs, and sit up tall. Without using your hands, we're going to fold forward. So take an inhale and exhale. All of this coming from your core instead of grabbing and pulling yourself down. Once you find a stopping place in your hamstrings, you can let your arms rest either side, or maybe if it's comfortable to bring them to your legs, that's fine too. Inhale, walk your hands back in, come up to sit. And then draw your heels into your midline. Open up your feet like a book and let gravity send your knees down. If it feels comfortable to stay seated up like this, that's perfectly fine. Or if you'd like to fold forward slowly until you find a stopping place here in bound angle pose. Walk your hands in, come back up to sit. Place your hands on the outsides of both of your knees and then slowly close that book. Begin to fall backwards, slow and controlled, onto your back until you're laying on the mat. And then we will enter into Shavasana, or the final resting pose of your practice. Here, in this pose, your goal is to be as relaxed as possible in both your body and your mind. So take the next few minutes just to empty your mind of any thoughts. If they drift in, let them drift out as quickly as they came. And take a little bit of time for peace in your brain. The video will end while you're in Shavasana, but I encourage you to take as much time as you need. Thanks.